Bonjour et bienvenue. Welcome to a tutorial by Madame Carole. Aujourd'hui, on part du passé composé contre l'imparfait. Quand est-ce qu'on utilise le passé composé et quand est-ce qu'on utilise l'imparfait? Révisons un peu. The most common past tense is the passé composé. So usually when we're talking about past events, we're talking about completed past events. Yesterday, I ate breakfast. This morning, I got ready for school. Passé composé. It often translates to verbed, have verbed, or did verb. And it is used to describe completed past actions. Par exemple, hier, Hélène s'est rendue au parc. It's a complete action. It's not that she was going to the park. I'm not telling a story about it. I'm just saying, yesterday, Helen went to the park. Hier, Hélène s'est rendue au parc. C'est au passé composé. Elle a joué au foot avec ses amis. She played soccer with her friends. It's a completed past action. They're not still playing. I'm not telling a story about when they were playing. I'm just saying she played soccer with her friends. Elle a joué au foot avec ses amis. Another important past tense is the imparfait, and it often translates to was verbing, used to verb, or would verb when we're talking about past events. It does not always translate that way, and so that's where this gray area comes in. It is used to describe people or things as they were, so description. Conditions, so a lot of times we will use weather in the imparfait. It was raining, it was snowing, there was a storm. Or such as setting the scene. So once upon a time there was a young girl who used to live in a castle. All going to be imparfait. Past actions that took place regularly or repeatedly. So when I was younger, every summer we went to the beach. Here in English, I'm using that simple past, we went to the beach, but in French I would have to use the imparfait because I'm saying every single summer, habitually, regularly, repeatedly, imparfait. Par exemple, quand Hélène était jeune, elle jouait souvent avec ses amis. So when Helen was young, here we're using imparfait because we are describing Hélène. Quand Hélène était jeune, elle jouait souvent avec ses amis. She often played with her friends. Often, regularly, repeatedly, imparfait. Elle jouait souvent avec ses amis. For interrupting events, we use passé composé and imparfait in the same exact sentence. Oh la la. Sometimes the passé composé and the imparfait are in the same sentence. So when one action was happening and another one interrupts it, we're going to use the imparfait and the passé composé. The was happening action is always in the imparfait, right? Was verbing is a translation for imparfait. The interrupting action or the verbed action is always in the passé composé. Par exemple, quand j'étais à Montmartre, j'ai vu le Moulin Rouge. When I was at Montmartre, so here I'm describing where I was, imparfait, j'ai vu le Moulin Rouge. I saw le Moulin Rouge. So here I'm saying that while I was there, I saw. The fact that I saw it is finished. It's completed. So I'm going to use the passé composé. So that été is how things were, imparfait. Et vu is what happened, passé composé. Je prenais une photo du Sacré-Cœur quand il a commencé à pleuvoir. I was taking a photo of Sacré-Cœur when it started to rain. So here, the fact that I was taking a photo is the background action for when it started, interrupting action, to rain. So again, je prenais une photo, that's how things were, and il a commencé à pleuvoir is what happened. Although the imparfait and passé composé are both past tense forms, they are not interchangeable. So let's look at a couple more differences. For the passé composé, we use it for completed past actions. Par exemple, hier, j'ai fait du shopping. Yesterday, I went shopping. It's a completed action. Events that took place once or a countable number of times. Again, it's a little gray on what could be counted. Par exemple, Une fois, j'ai acheté une robe grise. One time, I bought a gray dress. It only happened once. It's completed, so I'm going to use passé composé. J'ai nagé plusieurs fois cet été. I swam several times this summer. Several is countable, so we're going to use the passé composé. We also use it for a sequence of events. So I'm saying this happened, then this happened, then this happened. All passé composé. D'abord, je me suis levé à 7h05. Après, je me suis douché. Enfin, je me suis habillé. Here we're saying first, I got up at 7:05. After, I took a shower. Finally, I got dressed. This sequence of events is all going to be passé composé. Pour l'imparfait, if we are setting the scene, we're going to use imparfait. Il était une fois une princesse qui habitait dans une grande tour. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a tall tower. Here, I'm setting the scene for what seems to be a fairy tale, so I'm going to use the imparfait. Stating what was happening at a certain time. Que faisais-tu à 15h? What were you doing at 3 o'clock? So here, because I'm talking about this continuous action of what was happening at a specific time, I'm going to use the imparfait. Repeated habitual actions, so things that happened regularly or repeatedly, imparfait. Quand j'étais jeune, je rendais souvent visite à mes grands-parents. When I was young, I often used to visit my grandparents. And non-action verbs. Je voulais faire du vélo tous les soirs. I wanted to go bike riding every night. And we're going to talk a little bit more about these non-action verbs. So what are they? Non-action verbs describe a mental activity or state of being and are generally used in the imparfait in the past. And I say generally because I can't say always, right? Usually, generally in the imparfait, but there are some exceptions. So for example, adorer, to love something, is a mental activity. A lot of times it doesn't happen at just one time, so it's going to be used in the imparfait. Aimer, c'est la même chose. Avoir, to have. When you possess something, it's not usually at one specific completed time. Croire, to believe, is a mental activity. Détester, to hate, mental activity. Être is a state of being, usually used in the imparfait. Penser, to think, is a mental activity. Pouvoir, to be able to, is a state of being, right? I could do something. Very rarely is it that I could do something at one time and it's completed and I can't do it anymore. So we're usually going to use it in the imparfait. Préférer and vouloir, usually used in the imparfait. So when you see these verbs and when you want to use these verbs, you're usually going to use them in the imparfait. Not always, but usually. Pratiquons. Let's practice a little bit. Read the following paragraph and then tell why each verb, which is in bold, was conjugated in either imparfait or passé composé. So you can use the notes that you've taken to help you figure out which of those rules applies to that specific verb. Let's see. Here's our paragraph again. Montmartre était un village, mais en 1860, il est devenu un arrondissement de Paris. Beaucoup d'artistes habitaient dans cet arrondissement. Un de ces artistes s'appelait Toulouse-Lautrec. Il a dessiné plusieurs affiches et tableaux célèbres. So this first verb we have is était. It's être. It is a state of being, right? Montmartre was a village. It's describing how Montmartre was, so we're going to use the imparfait. Est devenu. This took place at a certain time. We're not saying that it was becoming an arrondissement. It became. That action is complete at a specific time. So we're going to use the passé composé. Habiter. This is a habitual action, which seems a bit weird, but they did not live there just once. It's that they used to live. Beaucoup d'artistes habitaient dans cet arrondissement. A lot of artists used to live in this arrondissement. S'appeler is a non-action verb, right? To be called is description, so we're going to use it in the imparfait. It's not that he was called it one time, but that was his name, so we're going to use the imparfait. A dessiner is in the passé composé because it is a completed action. It's not that he was drawing these, but that he drew them. Those are completed actions, and so we're going to use the passé composé. Merci bien. I hope this video helped you understand a little bit more about the imparfait and passé composé. I know it's a difficult concept. We'll continue to practice it. Merci bien et au revoir.